Welcome everyone to the Chompcast, the official podcast of Swordchomp and Swordchomp.com. Thank you for downloading or streaming our podcast, taking some time out of your busy life to listen to us. And remember, if you're digging the show, please subscribe, leave us a kind rating, share it with your friends, whatever it takes to get the Chompcast name out there. Game of the year time has come. The prestigious Daggertooths are glistening behind the stage, and this is a day, well, day one of two, I should say. Today we'll be running through every major category of the year for our best of the year shows, and tomorrow we'll be counting down the top 5 games of the year. So make sure you catch both podcasts in your feed. If this is the first one you're listening to, there will be another one in there. But I will get to the categories and all the rules in a minute here. I want to get to some quick intros just in case this is your first Chompcast ever. Welcome. And I'm going to welcome my good friends, the people you'll be listening to for the next couple hours. The co-hosts that make the Chompcast what it is. First up, my good friend from Texas, a man who still swears that the clitoris is the evolution of the Pokemon cloister. Anthony Fisher's here. How you doing, Fish?
Good. Yeah, I'm not a real fan of water Pokemon, so yeah, I never found out that. I never quite dug deep into whether or not that was true of it being, you know, an actual Pokemon, or I've heard rumors that it evolves on something else. Like, I think you need like a woman to put that on.
Yeah, you need a moonstone at night.
Oh, okay. You trade it with a moonstone. Is that how it works?
Yeah, you have to trade it with a moonstone.
Trade it with
at
a
night.
moonstone. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
That's true. We get.
Huh.
Well, that doesn't surprise me, Fish, knowing you. You know, the birds and the bees and Pokemon have eluded you.
You mean the Pidgeys and the Beedrills?
Yes, I like that. The Pidgeys and the Beedrills. Bravo, my friend. We are glad to have you here. And up next on that same line of introductions, a man who is a master at evolution, Pokemon, and, of course, the clitoris. Let's give a warm welcome to the science guy, Shay Layton, here from Japan. How you doing, Shay?
Hey, motherfuckers, I'm good. How you doing? How you living?
We live in large. Mister, we're living large. I don't know who you are, but you sound so powerful.
Yeah, motherfucker. Yeah, we living. We out. We in. We doing. You know how we do.
We have a guest
You know
host
what I'm saying. Yeah. Yeah, and by the way,
you know what
it would have been the Pidgeys and the Butterfrees, not the Beedrills. Because I like butterflies, motherfucker. I like butterflies.
The Pidgeys and the Pidgeys and the Butterfrees. Well, whatever.
You float like a butterfly and sting like another butterfly, because fuck bees.
That's right, fuck bees. Hell yeah.
I don't even know what that means.
Bees out this motherfucker.
I'm gonna go with it.
You know what I'm saying?
Let's bring in the real Shay Layton, so people aren't completely confused when your voice comes in.
Oh my god, hi. How are you? I'm really excited.
God, you're not going to make this easy, are you?
Hi guys,
You're
how are
not
you?
Gonna make this
My name
easy.
is Shay. I'm ready to record our 2-day extravaganza of
Game of the year, motherfucker.
I had you written in here, Shay. It said, the science guy, Shay. And then I started thinking of the Bill Nye thing. Shay. But no one joined in on that, so
yeah.
I thought I was setting everyone up.
I'm not cool enough to have a theme song. Bill Nye's the only one who gets it.
That's okay. We are happy to have you here, my friend. And if you ever get a chance when the show's over, you can maybe teach Fish a few things about the clitoris. That would be great.
You bet your sweet ass and half a titty.
Just half. And last up, but surely not least, a man. This is always tough, Josh. Your intros are always the hardest for me because I know what I'm going to go with Fish. I know where I'm going with Shay, but Josh is always a mystery. But how about this? A man who has evolved beyond all needs for regular human genitalia. Joshua Fowler's here.
That works.
I was like,
I imagine the evolving is about done at this point, though.
No.
Given the situation, but you know.
What does that look like, Josh? If you've evolved beyond regular human genitalia, what is that? It's like your mind? You just like...
Let me see. Some. I think I can assume you've undressed a Barbie before. It's along those lines.
Undressed a... Huh, okay. I don't really... I don't know if I have undressed a Barbie, Josh. Maybe when I was a...
Sure. Yeah, I believe that.
Maybe when I was a wee lad. I had a very rough upbringing, Josh. You don't even want to know. I just imagined, like last week, Fish said you know, the skills that you have and the way you inhabit the earth. I just imagine that you don't need a penis or a vagina. You're beyond that. So.
Okay.
There we go. We got it. We got it from. He's like, I'll take it.
Basically,
they had those.
Basically, how Josh gets off is protons and electrons come together and they just smash together. It isn't like actual genitalia. It's protons and electrons, and they just smash. And that's counterproductive or counterintuitive rather, because it's usually protons and neutrons in the same vicinity. But Josh, he's evolved to see protons and electrons smash. That's what he likes.
I like that. I like that when I could throw Josh off a little bit, watching on the webcam with these intros. Just a little bit, try to throw him off the rails. You know what? It's okay, because there's one thing we know Josh does well, is he can rip some games apart. And if there's ever a show that you get to rip some games apart, it's going to be this one, at least in the second half. You know, the first half of this show, by the way, I'm Morgan Barnes from Montana. I'll be hosting this little shindig. One of the great things about this show is the first half of the show is more about, you know, I've been thinking about a lot lately about the season of giving. You know, like I'm old enough to the point where Christmas for me, because it's around Christmas time here, and you know, it's not quite the same obviously as when I was a kid, but I enjoy watching my daughters open up presents, and my girlfriend and my family members, like the fun of giving. And in a lot of ways, that's what we're doing, right? We are giving back these Daggertooths, these awards, to the games that meant so much to us this year. And that's a good thing. And then we'll probably rip them apart when we argue about the different categories and what we think should win, which I think is a pretty good setup for laying down the rules here. So the way this works, if you've never listened to one of our award shows, we've only done one, so we are still growing, evolving, and figuring this thing out, is the first half of the show, we all take turns talking about our favorite games of, our favorite winners in each category, our personal choices for favorite. It's very uplifting, fun. There's a lot of, self-congratulation going on there. It's a good time. The second half of the show, we basically argue about which games in those categories should win to represent Swordchomp as the overall winner. So the first half will be our personal picks, and the second half will be a debate when we have to come to a consensus. And that's the hard part, because there's four of us. A lot of podcasts I listen to, they have five people or 8 people or some weird number, so there's always a swing. With us, we need at least 3 people to fold, which means...
Yeah. And I'm a lonely swinger here.
Yeah, so and there's only
teach me your swinging ways.
At least that we know of, and we'll leave it at that. So anyways, here is a quick rundown of the rules. They're pretty basic. First and foremost, we allow each other one tie in any category. And that's because sometimes it gets tough, but it's supposed to be a fun thing. It's sort of like a mulligan when you go golfing with your friends. You get one mulligan, or in this case, one tie, where you just can't quite decide between two things. We allow each other to have that one tie. And the second thing would be there's going to be some spoilers, so definitely be ready for that. And the tiebreakers, as I mentioned, we have to convince the other somebody to bend, so we have a 3-person consensus. Here's a quick rundown of all the categories, and then we will get right to it. But I want to let the listeners know what's coming up on the show. Categories. We have favorite art direction, favorite character, favorite haircut, favorite soundtrack, favorite boss, character you'd want to have a drink with at a bar, and that's a character from 2017, of course, favorite gaming moment, favorite narrative, favorite game that describes your sex life, that's a weird one, favorite gameplay mechanic, favorite use of sound design, and favorite game this year that wasn't actually released this year. And of course, lastly, and surely not least, a weird one that's kind of special to our show, favorite gaming ecosystem, because we always do like a biology section or a science show. A science section each show is kind of our thing. We thought it'd be fun to try that. So some of these are experimental, like best game that describes our sex life. They might be really funny, and they might just be a train wreck. We don't know. It's going to be fun, so hope you stick with us. And it goes without saying, all these are pertaining to games that were released this year.
Man, you missed a good joke. It could be a stud or it could be a dud. Come on.
Okay. Well, I'm kind of locked in. My podcast room is kind of dark, and I'm sitting here just like reading these notes in the darkness. But I wanted to set the mood. This is a very special podcast for me. I got like a nice glow, a blue glow coming off my microphone, my new mic box. It's very tranquil in here. I just took my headache medicine in preparation for all the terrible choices you guys are going to make. I'm ready to go. All right, so the second annual Daggertooths are underway, and if you're unfamiliar, that is basically our special award at Swordchomp that we give out. We have pictures of them on the Instagram and Twitter if you want to see them. The Daggertooths, obviously playing Swordchomp, blah, blah, blah. They are awesome. They are amazing, and it is an honor to be received. Wait, let me try that again. It is an honor to receive one. So let's get right to it. Boom! I'm going to kind of throw these at you guys in different ways so you can have no idea who's going. I don't want to keep the same order. I want to keep you guys on your toes here. All right, so first category is, let's go with a nice easy one for a warm-up. Favorite art direction. Okay, so we'll go around the room here. Your personal choice, Anthony Fisher, for favorite art direction of 2017 is...
This is tough. I had 3 of them that I wrote down. And going through all 3 of them, it was tough because I had Destiny 2 on there. I had Zelda Breath of the Wild on there. I also had What Remains of Edith Finch as well.
What the fuck?
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Not the choices I expect. Okay, go ahead. Okay, so Destiny 2, Edith Finch, surprising, and Zelda, beautiful art.
Yeah, and I was just trying to pin down which one like inspired me as far as something that's very artful and kind of had a nice direction as of what they want the character or what the player to see and everything. And I felt like What Remains of Edith Finch like always pointed you in an area that was of interest, and I looked at it that way kind of with What Remains of Edith Finch. And yeah,
like the art, like the visuals in the game are actually guiding the player. Interesting.
Yeah,
okay.
Because you're just going through a house and you're going from room to room and you're kind of taking a little bit of the lay of the land. And every once in a while, it'll kind of nudge you towards like this beautiful scenery and then kind of move you along. It's almost like they're counting on the player to look in this direction or look out at the sea and try and find something like that.
That's fascinating because most of the time art direction refers to just sort of like the way the game looks, but and your interpretation is not necessarily wrong. You're saying you're looking at the way they've crafted the game visually to sort of also not just the way it looks, but kind of the way it's guiding the player too.
Yeah, it's still still stimulating and pleasing to the eye.
Stimulating. Oh, pleasing.
I was gonna say, dare you say arousing?
Dare you?
That's a different thing.
Yeah, okay. That's another.
You can still find it on the internet, but
don't get ahead of ourselves. Okay, wow. I gotta admit, right off the bat, you've thrown a curveball that I did not see coming.
That's true.
Underdog. Okay, well, cool choice. What do you got, Shay, for best art direction 2017?
This one's a no-brainer. Clearly, it's FIFA 18. I mean, Mike. No, I'm kidding. Clearly, it's Cuphead.
Have you seen those footy balls?
It's clearly Cuphead. That game is visually arresting from the moment you start it until...